name is Becca. Welcome back to Raising Them Simply. Here we share everything about our secular homeschool as a family of 5. Today we're going to be chatting just a little bit about homeschooling with a newborn and the different challenges that come along with that. So if you are new here, I have a second grader, a preschooler, a toddler, and another one on the way. I'm also a part-time working mom as a nurse. So this channel is all things about homeschool and how we make it work for our family. So if any of that interests you, please hit that subscribe button so you're notified of future videos. But let's jump into it. So I have already done this homeschool thing with a newborn once, and we're about to do it again here in the spring. And I know that homeschooling is continuing to grow everywhere. And a lot of us were not homeschooled ourselves. So we have not seen what homeschool is supposed to look like or how it's supposed to go. Nevertheless, seeing homeschooling with young toddlers or even a newborn in the mix and how that works. And so I wanted to chat a little bit about the different things that we've done in our homeschooling with a newborn and what we will do this next time that I've learned from that last experience going into this next child to be able to help set up our homeschool for success. So the first things first is we go easy on ourselves. Moms, especially if you do not sleep train, if you breastfeed, babies wake up a lot in the middle of the night. Biologically, that's what's supposed to happen, and that is what does happen. You should not expect being able to start school at 8 a.m. or even 8:30. You should go easy on yourselves. There are some moms out there like Homeschool Glue. She's great. She has a YouTube channel and Instagram. I will link her down below. She had her 4th child. I believe he's almost about to turn 1 already. And she was like doing full-blown homeschooling and stuff from pretty recently after she gave birth. I don't know how she did it. She's superwoman. I don't know how women like that do that, but I want to make sure that you don't have that false expectation that that is what you need to do. Your homeschool is not going to look like what it was prior to that child joining your family. You are tired. You went through a lot in the process of giving birth, and you should be able to and allowed to take that break within reason after giving birth and slowly go back into schooling. So what we did was, my birth with my last one was actually extremely easy, and my postpartum was also extremely easy, thankfully. And so we actually jumped back into school about 3 weeks afterwards. I had planned to take a full 6 weeks off. I worked that into our school because I wanted myself to be able to feel like I had the permission almost to be able to take as much time as I needed to so that I could show up in a good place for my other kids, because they deserve me to be as patient and stuff as I possibly can, which wasn't going to happen if I was having a very colicky baby, for example, if I had started right at a week or 2 postpartum. So that is the number one thing that I did. The second thing is that when we did start school, we started into school very slowly. We would do a lot of schooling on the couch because that was more comfortable for me than sitting at the table, even though my kids actually prefer to do school at the table. We did it at the couch. We would start with reading and math, and that worked best for us. And as we started getting the hang of that, we added our other subjects in. Another thing that we did is baby wearing. I have wraps and carriers that I use to have baby on me, and if baby fell asleep, great. If not, they were comfortable with me. I was not constantly feeling overstimulated or the stress of putting that baby down and then them crying and me picking them back up again and going back and forth. I just really enjoy wearing my babies, and my babies enjoy that as well. And so that was very helpful for us. As baby got older and their nap times that they kind of set themselves into became more predictable, I was able to set baby down, and then I was able to have more one-on-one time without baby on me. And that went okay, but I did not try to rush that process at all. Another thing that's very important to keep in mind, especially when you have a larger family like we are about to have, is that your children are going through this process as well as you are. They are having to adapt to another child. And in my case, my children are overly excited for a new baby. And when we had our last child, they wanted to constantly hold that baby and do things for them, which was amazing. And I want to be able to grow and foster their sibling relationships as well. So one thing that we did, it was a little bit different then because my preschooler wasn't learning at that time, but what we will do this time is if my oldest wants to hold the baby, we will do that, and I can get some one-on-one learning time or connection time with my preschooler. I'll do the same thing with my toddler as well, of course, so that she's getting that connection time. But we keep school simple. We allow the children to, maybe we have the preschooler count to 10 by counting baby's toes or fingers. Or maybe we count how many times baby giggles or makes a silly noise or a grunt or something. Maybe we will hold baby and have my oldest read a book to the baby as a way to help with their learning. So we incorporate the baby into our everyday life. And if the older ones want to be involved in the baby at some point, we incorporate that as well. Because it's not just about the schooling, it's also about your family connections and your connections to each of your children, as well as your children's connections to each other. Another thing that I do is I make sure that I set some time aside for myself, even if it's only 5 to 10 minutes. Now, I do have the privilege, and I understand that, of a husband who makes his own hours and he's able to work whenever he wants to. And I understand that is a huge privilege, but this can happen if you have a partner or a spouse that is not in that same thing. You could do this in the evening, you could do it in the afternoon during their breaks, you can make it work whenever works best for you. But what I like to do is in the morning, when we have that newborn stage, is if I'm able to have baby sleep for a little bit and I can go and even just brush my teeth, wash my face, and get dressed by myself, that is a huge thing. I will have my husband or maybe even my oldest hold the baby while I eat breakfast without holding a baby, because sometimes the being touched out thing is really real, especially when you have multiple children, and it can lead to being overstimulated. So I make sure that I do that for myself. I make sure that even if I take an extra moment to do my stones on my face, or maybe I'm going to make sure I put on makeup that day. Maybe I want to make my coffee without holding the baby or holding on to my toddler or something like that. These are just simple things. They don't need to be elaborate, but just even having that 5 minutes to yourself to take a deep breath really helps set yourself up for the rest of the day. Also, accepting help when it is offered, or reaching out and asking for help when you need it. Leading up to the birth, I do a lot of meal preparation. I go to Costco and stock up on all the things so that we have everything in the house. I make sure that we're set up that way so that we're not rushing out for different things early postpartum. I was really fortunate with my last birth that I had multiple people within my circle bring me meals that they had prepared that I was able to stick in my freezer. They did that beforehand because they didn't want to feel like I had to entertain them or anything like that by them just showing up at my house with food. I had friends bring paper plates and paper towels and stuff like that so that I didn't have to worry about dishes for a while, which was amazing. I also got to a point where it's hard for me to ask for help sometimes But sometimes even if I just text my husband or my mother-in-law or my mom and just say, hey, are you able to come over on this day just so I can take an extra nap with the baby or something like that. This time I'm looking into a postpartum doula, which I understand is also a privilege that not everyone has. But making sure that you set yourself up in a way, and maybe if you don't have that support, maybe you can outsource that in some way. There are things that I've also done where I have asked for a gift card for a house cleaning service, where I had someone come over and clean my house one day, like deep clean my house and stuff postpartum, so I didn't have to worry about that because the mess is overstimulating for me sometimes, and that was incredibly helpful. So those are all some different things that I have done and I will do for this next baby to help during the busy transition of adding a new little family member to our homeschool. If that was helpful for you, please leave a thumbs up. It really lets me know what kind of videos you like to see here on this channel. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you have done to help with your homeschooling and transition. If you're adding a little one, if you're about to add another little one, congratulations. Let me know down below what you're doing to help set yourself up for success moving forward. Hit that subscribe button. It is a free way for you to be notified of future videos, and I can't wait to catch you guys next time. Bye.